We're on the air.
All right. Hello and welcome to another wonderful, rousing, riveting educational adventure here at Nosebleeders Sports. I am Phil, that is Mike, and this is the show where two sad losers from New York talk about all the sad loser teams that play and represent New York City. And that is sadly
I'm in New Jersey, technically, but yeah.
Okay. They represent the tri-state area, okay? Mm-hmm. They anywhere in New Haven and to the south or west, it's New York sports. Okay. Speaking of sad losers, let's talk about. We haven't talked about it much this fall because we've been avoiding it, but we have to. We have to talk about the Giants. I don't want to, but we have to. Mike, any thoughts on what happened this morning?
I went to something called Legion Con today. It's like this toy convention where they have these action figures and it's like mythological. It's a lot of cool nerdy stuff. And as I was driving up there, I had the game on, and as I was leaving, I had the game on. And wouldn't you know, the Giants tied the game up, even though they blew. They had 2 turnovers in the red zone.
They did blew. They blew. You could just stop right there and just say they blew, and then that'd be the recap of the whole season.
Big blue.
Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
And they missed the field goal, so 17-14. The Panthers, as bad as they are, screwed up, and they threw a pass that was incomplete, which left the clock running instead of running the ball, and they could have got a stoppage of the clock. So the Giants tie the game with a field goal. They go to overtime. They win the toss. Tails never fails, which is good. So they called Daniel Jones, called tails, and they hand it off to Taylor, right, the running back. I always forget his name. The guy who took over for Saquon, who's been doing pretty well, I would say. They handed off, who had a very good game today, but they handed off to him the first drive of overtime. And he fumbles the ball. The ball gets knocked out of his hand by a former Giant. Carolina gets the ball, and because the Giants had already had possession, it becomes sudden death. And Carolina gets in the field goal range, kicks the field goal, and that's your ball game, kids.
All game.
Giants lost.
A couple things about this.
You're 2-8.
It's who in the NFL, who at the schedule makers of the NFL said, hey, I know a game that people on the East Coast are willing to wake up before 9 a.m. on a Sunday to go watch. And people on the West Coast would have to wake up at like 5-something in the morning to wake up to watch. I know. Let's get the New York Giants against the Carolina Panthers. Let's get 2 of the worst teams we've seen in years. Let's just put them head-to-head in a foreign country. Let's do it. Let's just do it and see what happens. Someone said that in an office somewhere, and no one else there was like, I don't think that's a good idea.
It's New York.
No. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I work weird shifts and hours. I work at a hotel. I work late sometimes. Right. I didn't work late yesterday, but the fact is, I'm not waking up before like 11 a.m. on a Sunday. I'm not, for any reason. So I got to wake up just in time to watch the collapse happen in real time, like while I'm half awake before my day even started.
It's horrible.
It was so sad, and it's just this right here. They finally announced after the game they're going to take a look at different QB options, and this is something, Mike, that I'll credit you with because you've been saying this for a few months now. Or actually, you've been saying it for years.
Years now.
Daniel Jones not the guy.
He's not the guy.
It's time to call up Tommy Cutlets because who cares at this point? Your team has 4 times as many losses as wins. You suck. That's it. That's all we got. They suck.
Yeah, I was listening to the post-game show on the Fan, and it was Paul Dottino and Jonathan, what's his name? Siglia? I forget. I'm sorry. I'm mispronouncing.
It's some Italian name. It's WFAN. They're all with strong opinions.
But basically, they were saying, outside of the quarterback, there's nobody else to call up. They're playing all their young players. There is nothing like, all right, well, let's just salvage the season by giving the rookies time. The rookies have been playing, and the young players have been playing, so they can get. Hopefully, they'll be more experienced by next season.
They're already there. This team is so sad. I don't even know where to go with this, man. I really don't. It's like I said, we've been avoiding talking about them because there hasn't been, outside of neighbors, there really hasn't been much to talk about.
No,
this whole year, it's not worth. They're not worth talking about. Like, what's our opinion and recap going to be every week, Mike? Hey, they lost again.
They lost. That's all. It's all it is week after week. And today was particularly bad because they were both them and the Panthers are tied with the worst record, 2-7, and the Giants are in desperate need for a number one pick, or at least a high enough pick to get the best quarterback out there if they're going to draft a quarterback, which they should. And if they won today, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they won today, they were going to get so much heat for winning because, like, oh, now the Panthers have a worse record. But they lost.
Nope. We're getting that pick, baby.
They lost to a team that gives up 32 points to their opponents. We scored 17 points.
Did you expect anything different? I mean, dude, this offense is terrible. They've been terrible the whole year. They've been terrible for the better part of a decade now. They can't move the ball forward. And as someone who has never played football, okay, it's frustrating because you and I, we're the kind of guys who are sitting there watching this, screaming at our TVs like, hey, the ball needs to go that way. Why can't you make the ball go that way on my screen? Just make it go that way. And they never do. They never do.
The Daniel Jones situation is he does work hard.
It's done. It's done.
But
he's done. I don't care how hard he works.
Yeah.
Joey Gallo worked hard too.
That's what I was going to say.
It doesn't work. You need results.
It's just when he's on the field, it's not practice anymore, and he's not showing up. So as great as a guy as he is, and I'm sure he's a great guy, the work is not just getting done. You know, I've been fired for less. You know, Buck Showalter was fired for less. He got the job done almost, and it still wasn't good enough. So, you know, it's just not working. Daniel Jones, I feel like, would be better suited somewhere else. There's no New York pressure. He's a good backup somewhere, or just, you know, as a transition till somebody gets that rookie pick, I guess. You know, maybe he can be like, what's his name from the Rams and the Cardinals, who played with the Giants before Eli.
Speaking of the Cardinals,
that guy.
We got to get to that in a minute.
The Cardinals. Well, I'm just saying maybe Daniel Jones would be better suited somewhere else. You know, and maybe have a career. With the injuries, I don't know, but maybe he'll have a career resurgence.
Speaking of the Cardinals,
yeah.
Speaking of the Cardinals, we gotta get to this. So, are you aware of the score of the Jets game today?
No, I had life to live after the disappointment of the Giants. So
yeah, it's true. You had to go to a convention apparently and look at toys to calm your brain down. Which, hey, it was great. I'm not judging. I think that's great. That sounds like a better use of your Sunday than watching either of these teams right now. The final score of the Cardinals versus Jets game, was 31-6.
Oh, the playoff run! What happened?
I was at a bar that had the game on, and I was kind of casually watching the Jets game. I was actually honestly more paying attention to the Cowboys versus Eagles because it was a more exciting game. And I kept glancing over. And I glanced over, and then I saw they were down 6-0. I'm like, you know what? That's a one-possession game.
Yeah.
That's a one-possession game.
Yeah.
And then I glanced over, and I saw the score at halftime, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Never mind. Nope.
That was it. That's your game recap, kids.
We don't have the pleasure of having Brian being able to join us tonight, but I understand his full feelings of the fact that the Jets are dead to him. Because the Giants are dead to us.
He hates them.
He loves them, but he hates them, essentially.
Rightfully so. You know, we can only – and that's the thing, man. As Jets and Giants fans, it's funny because we talked about this in the past, but we don't really – there's no real rivalry that I feel between Jets and Giants fans. We see each other. We just give each other a hug, and we're like, hey – it'll get better eventually, we hope. And then that's it. You just move on with your day.
Yeah.
You more have empathy. It's crazy that both of the crosstown, quote-unquote, crosstown teams, they play in the same stadium. They're both Jersey teams.
Right.
The quote-unquote crosstown rivalry, they just have nothing but empathy for each other. I have not heard a fan of either team be like, F the other team in, I don't even know how long it's been. It's been probably more than a decade. Everyone is just sitting there watching their TVs like, can one of the New York teams stop sucking? Can they please just stop sucking? And they don't. They never do. They just all suck.
The last great Giant season was when they beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. When they looked like nothing's stopping these guys, you know. And even then they weren't the best team out of the best teams, you know. By all accounts, the Bills were better, the 49ers were better, but they beat them both. Even when the Giants won both Super Bowls, they were 9-7. The first time they looked way out of it, and then something magical happened, and they won. It was the greatest Super Bowl ever. And
it was.
Now we are trying to watch Knicks basketball, who, like you said before the call, they're a very Jekyll and Hyde team at the moment. I guess they're still trying to gel. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think when they do gel, this team's going to go on a run. I feel All right, we'll move over to the Knicks real quick before we get into the fun stuff or the funner stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think Cat's pretty cool. I think the team, the makeup, again, they haven't gelled because that was a trade that was kind of made like right before the season. And I think this team, when they gel and they get to play with each other for like another month or two, I could really see this team going on like a 14-game run or something crazy. I think they have some very high-end talent, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun winter to watch the Knicks. You and I got to get to a game again. We got to do this. Let's do it. Let's go sit up in the cheap seats again. I'm down for it. But yeah, I will say that I'm not really that worried about them yet. I'm just not. I think this team, they're going to go on a run. I've got a feeling. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being Mr. Positivity for that, but I think that there's too much talent for them not to go on a run at some point in the season. Yeah.
I mean, even last 2 years, the Knicks, they always get off to a slow start. It's just the New York way of things. It's like a subway delay. I mean, the subway will get you there. It's just going to show up late. So, I have faith in them. I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Jets. I will be and I've mentioned this each week, I will be at the Jets game on the 17th.
I'm sorry.
I will try to get footage. I may even wear the shirt there. I don't have a Jets gear. I have Giants gear. So at least this is green. But anyway.
It was because one of your relatives wanted to go for her birthday or his birthday.
My sister-in-law wants to go for her birthday.
Why? Why? Why?
They get a deal. She gets a deal.
What do you want to do on your birthday?
Watch the Jets.
I want to go watch 72-year-old Aaron Rodgers get sacked 4 times and watch the Jets lose, and then have to leave the stadium and have to figure out either A, the nightmare parking lot situation, or B, the most packed ass train you've ever ridden in your life back towards the city. Your sister-in-law voluntarily wants to do that.
Yeah, I think we're taking a party bus, so that won't be too bad. I don't know if that's still because they moved the game from like.
They'll be in. Oh, that's right. Because it was supposed to be the night game, but then the NFL was like, "Oh, we forgot the Jets were terrible. We're gonna flex you back to the afternoon."
Yeah. Wait, let me see the Jets.
It's so sad, the state of New York sports right now. It's so sad.
They're playing the Colts. Okay, because she also likes the Seahawks. They're playing the Seahawks the following week. So she has a lot of family who are Jeff fans. My brother's Jeff fan. It'll be fun, but it'll be.
I know you're a guy that doesn't drink, but that'd be a good day to start. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there for you, Mike. I'm just saying. All right, let's get into the commentary part of the show. I understand you have some more vintage ads for us as always, so take it away. What do we got?
This is a good weekend to do this because I have a whole bunch of commercials we haven't gotten to yet, and we're doing 4 because that's all I can handle in terms of editing. So, but I got some good ones here. Let's start with let's just do a little cap on the Yankees, and we'll go with this one that we didn't get to play during the World Series or the playoffs, but I really wanted to watch this because I remember when it came out. Let's take a look at the Duque.
What's this dance called?
It's the El Duque.
Hey, Connie, why don't you have a dance?
This is funny. This is funny. I'm like, I don't know how much time you spent at dance clubs in your late teens and early 20s.
Just like Jenkinson's in the boardwalk, but that's about it.
Okay, so I lived in Orlando for about a year. Orlando has a lot of dance clubs. Yeah. And this is exactly what dance clubs look like. So there's a big screen sometimes with the music video of the song that they're playing on the projector. And then if you caught it real quick, there was like some bars where there's like people either dancing in cages or up on a pole or something.
Right.
There's that as well. They actually did a really good job of capturing the dance club feel.
It probably was in Florida during spring training. I mean, I think this came out after the '98 season.
I would imagine this would have been filmed. It's something I see like with the railings and the cages.
Right.
Oh, this is great. And then you got Coney with trying to do the thing over his head.
With the fan, the guy comes out of the it's a little suggestive there that he's whatever, but he's part of the
no,
Bryant Mafia. But, yeah.
Coney's dance should be standing directly in front of two women that are confused and doing this motion.
Yeah,
okay?
that's
what, for those of you who know what I'm talking about.
That's already a dance.
Those of you who know what I'm talking about, what Coney did in the early 90s and he's at the Mets, you can Google what he did in front of two women.
Cocaine makes you do
Google
crazy
Louis
things.
C.K. immediately after if you don't understand what I'm talking about.
I just always love Louis Soho here. Hey, Cody, why don't you have a dance? In his beautiful English with the accent. And because a lot of these ball players, they have to learn English to play ball.
Yeah.
So they're lucky they still get to retain their accent. And, in our country, as pathetic and racist as we are, he just belts it out with his accent. I love it. I just love the whole thing about it.
Yeah.
So
I also like this guy at the bar. I don't know what the little side character in the commercial where that is how like dance club douchebags dress at dance clubs. If you've ever been to one,
a lot of shiny material.
Yeah, he should have a chain around his neck, but he doesn't. But that haircut with the stupid suit, this is exactly the kind of guys that I fantasize about punching in the face in various Florida dance clubs. It is perfect.
Yeah.
This ad is perfect.
Was that Kamala Harris? I think that was Kamala Harris right there.
That was Kamala Harris. So she
Wow.
lost the election. Time to go back to the poll. Okay. Hey-o. No, but
wow.
I mean, yeah, no, that was a right-wing joke. We don't do those in America. Well, that's all comedy's going to be for the next. I talked about this unrelated. I talked about this with multiple people the last couple of days that comedy's going to be terrible for the next like 3 or 4 years just because.
Yeah, well, it's been terrible, but
it's been terrible. It's going to get worse now. Everything's going to get polarized. I love this ad though. This is really fun. Yeah. This is awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, so that's classic.
Say about it. Yeah,
and they still talk about it on NES broadcast with Cone and O'Neill.
Really?
They bring up Cone, O'Neill on Seinfeld or Cone in that commercial. It always comes up.
Hell yeah!
And Michael K's big head. Those are the three. That's all they have to banner on.
He does have a big head. All right.
Yeah. Let's do this one. I will do this one. This is basketball. This is one with Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. I think this is the rap battle one. Let me see.
All right.
I'm the Tim Duncan.
And he ain't front end, drives the rock, and he'll show you something.
Kobe Bryant, slam dunk giant, outplayed the Kobe, son, don't try it.
It's Kobe and Timbo, game was tight. Grabbing points like they grab a Sprite. Game action like movie stunts. Obeying the thirst with Missy scoring points. Steady, obey your thirst. Sprite.
Oh, wow. What year was this from? This could not have been anything later than like, what, 93, 94 or something?
No, Kobe was a rookie in 96, so this is definitely
this is definitely 96 or 97 then, because that graffiti on that shirt is straight out of the 90s for sure. Oh, my God.
So,
this is great.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so that's Missy Elliott in the commercial, but that's also over here next to Kobe. It looks like Grandmaster Caz, who's like one of the first solo rappers. Because back in the early days of hip-hop in the 70s, they had rap groups. And this commercial is actually a nod to the song you heard playing. It's from the movie Wild Style, which was one of the greatest hip-hop movies ever made because it's just like the raw form of hip-hop in the streets in New York, with just on the sidewalks and basketball courts, and they do a rap battle like this. And I'm assuming if it's Grandmaster Caz, it's like the Cold Crush crew and whoever it was in the rap battle from the commercial. I don't know. I never knew what they look like, but I do recognize Grandmaster Caz, and I guess next to Tim Duncan, that is somebody that might be the guys from the movie. So this is a good hip hop throwback.
I like all this. You got Kobe Bryant with some hair. Yeah. Look at that hair. Look at Kobe Bryant's hair.
The Kobe hair. Yeah.
Kobe back when he had hair. Missy Elliott rules. I mean, she's one of those sort of transcendental figures. Yeah. Like, even if you don't listen to rap, you're just like, oh yeah, she rules.
She's done everything. Songwriter, everything, choreographer,
acting, whatever. Yeah, you name it. She's absolutely just a badass motherfucker. No, this is cool though. I like this. I like all this with the big chains and like I said, the Kobe hair. This is fun. This is quintessential mid-90s right here. This is cool as hell. I'm into this, man.
Yeah, it's classic. And Kobe even I think he had a rap album too. I think he put out a hip-hop album. So
a lot of these guys did. You know Shaq put out like a like a ton of rap albums.
Oh yeah, I have his first album.
Have you
it was
ever
great.
heard the song that Shaq did called "Kobe, How's My Ass Taste"? Did you ever hear about we got to do that on the show?
We're gonna find that. I remember that.
Tell me how my ass tastes. Somebody played that for me one time, like 15 years ago, and
yeah,
but Shaq has a bunch of albums out too.
Yeah, Shaq Diesel. Yeah, that's the first album. He did a song with Fife Dog, which is actually it's a good song. All right, let's go to see. Excuse me, I had a burp. Let's go to this. We'll save the best for last. Let's go to this Old Spice commercial with Wes Welker. I think this is something you found, and I pulled it. I don't know what it's about.
We have a long list of commercials we've done.
Just find stuff.
Just play it. Let's see what we got.
All right.
The game's on the line. You're the star of the team. You deserve to smell fresh with a confident clean. You took a 40-minute shower, and this is the second half of the game.
Was this something you planned to show Brian because there was a male shower scene?
Maybe it was either that or it was because when one of the teams is playing against the Broncos, because I always try to get the opposing team. I also love the group shower. Do they still do group showers? They can't do group showers. I was
wondering, is it still like everybody's naked in the shower together? Yeah,
it can't be a thing anymore. They have to have individual showers now. Like that was like a 70s thing. I refuse to believe that there's still a shower that looks like that. I'm sorry.
Isn't that unsanitary? Like I want my own space. I don't want people's filthy dirt water coming by my feet.
Unsanitary as much as it's just weird. Because I remember when I was like in middle school, it was the last time I had to do group showers for gym class. We had to do group showers for gym class, and it was weird.
You had to do it in middle school, really? Yeah,
They only made us do it a couple times, and it was weird. It was that was the beginning of people realizing. Never mind. We're not going to.
We shouldn't be doing that with children.
We're not talking about my penis on the show any more than we already do. Anyway, let's talk about this commercial. So obviously, it plays for the Broncos. I like Old Spice, by the way. I use Old Spice deodorant in real life.
Okay.
When they don't pay me to say that, is do.
Yeah.
Is that the old Mile High Stadium?
There's a Sports Authority logo they didn't block out in the background, so
that's the old Mile High, right?
I guess there's a new one. I don't even know.
No, maybe that is the new one. I don't know. Yeah, I went to the parking lot of the new one a few years ago for totally unrelated reasons, but
okay.
My girlfriend went to go see Taylor Swift there.
Oh, right.
I obviously didn't go, but
I wanted
like $9,000. So
I want to know the planning that went into making this bottle come up through the fake turf. How many takes did they have to do? There's a lot of prep that goes into these little stupid parts of commercials.
Yeah, those little product shots and stuff. Definitely.
Yeah. So, Old Spice. It's amazing.
Wes Welker in the shower, and then a random groundskeeper just shaking his head at him.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. Old Spice sounds disgusting. It's like the weirdest name for a deodorant. What do you smell like? Old Spice, not like new, fresh spice.
It's a weird name for it is. Anyway, all right.
All right, we'll save this.
What are we closing out with tonight, Mike? What do we got?
The best for last. So that I just dropped some. I showed this to you the other day. This was a very big deal when it came out. I think this is early 90s, maybe like 92, 93, probably 93. This is for Nike, Charles Barkley versus Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, you sent me this. Yeah, okay, yeah, play it again.
Let's take a look. Very low volume.
Rocking the Nike.
His own shoe.
He almost looks like AI in this, Charles Barkley. He looks so shiny.
Yeah, there's a fakeness to him.
Yeah, there is like a very, it's all CGI kind of.
Yeah.
The Lakers are looking for a big man.
Lakers are looking for a big man.
The Lakers are looking for a big. I like that he put the glasses on. He's like Clyde Drexler, Godzilla with the goggles, whatever.
Is that what they were?
Yeah, I mean, or James Worthy had those goggles. Yeah, I'm not quite.
I knew that was a reference to one of the players from that era, but I wasn't sure who. Because there's always at least a couple guys that play with goggles, which makes sense. Because right before Barkley's era was when the game was like violent, and dudes would do shit like that. They, be poking at you and stuff.
These are some very Art Deco New York looking. I don't know what Tokyo
It was
looks like.
supposed to be
This looks
Tokyo,
more,
isn't it?
yeah, this looks more like New York. This right here looks like.
Doesn't it say Tokyo like in the background?
Yeah, like right here. This looks like when you go down to Astor Place and there's a building on the corner. And it's like a Walgreens in the bottom. That's what it looks like. It's the same.
That looks like like a blurred out Arby's sign right there. So.
Right. And these buildings look like that's just vintage New York. There's some buildings that look like that in New York. But yeah, it's supposed to be Tokyo.
Well, Tokyo and New York are two of the only like very like compact cities in the world. So it kind of makes sense to look. It's all skyscrapers. It's the same kind of place, you know.
What is Godzilla's? Look at his eyes right here, Godzilla. It like, is he looking down? Like one eye goes inside of his head.
Yeah.
Look at, you know. So yeah, that's Charles Barkley's shoe. That's what he got.
Barkley with the high top shoes there and all that. Yeah, that's This is great. I think this is fun. This is definitely classic. I just want to know what the budgeting was and what they spent on this commercial and how to make these kind of effects, because they're asking Charles Barkley to act, and I feel like because obviously this is done with like green screens and possibly some models and stuff. But obviously there's not a Godzilla they're actually playing basketball against him, and like, okay, Charles, we need you to act like you're really defiant for a second there, and then act surprised, and then dunk the ball and act proud of yourself.
Yeah, it looks like they have like an actual set, and that's a backdrop, but you do see people on the ground. So yeah, there is some camera trickery there. It's a mix of both. It looks like the Empire State Building back there as well, right? Right next to Godzilla's shoulder.
Maybe, but again, I think it's supposed to be Tokyo. I don't know if that's like if they have a famous equivalent building in Tokyo. I know very little about Tokyo.
It's Tokyo, New York. I forgot. Oh,
do we have a little Tokyo in New York? I don't think we do we? We have Koreatown, Chinatown.
Yeah, do we have anything?
Do we have a little Tokyo? I don't think we do. And if we do, it's like a half a block that no one talks about.
Yeah, there's a little Brazil, Little Italy.
I mean, if you want to count part of St. Mark's Place, because there's like a lot of Japanese restaurants and a couple dessert spots there that are all Japanese, but I don't think anybody calls it that, so I don't know.
It's just St. Mark's Place. It was excellent. Well, I think they filmed this just like they did the old Godzilla. That's a foul. Yeah, in the 90s, that wasn't a foul. That was called good basketball.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, refer back to the Bill Laimbeer versus Barkley fight that we did many years ago on the show. All right, that was great. I had fun with that, man. That's cool. That was just these are a lot of good throwbacks, a lot of good 90s action here.
Yeah, hopefully at some point we can do some fights again. Until we figure out how
we get shadow banned every time we do it. Every time we roll with a brawl, we either get dinged on TikTok or we get dinged on YouTube, and someone, so it's like, no, the ads are fun because no one's going to tell you to not do an ad. It's like, how dare you play that commercial we made? Unless it's like something that's out of date because it's like racist or sexist or whatever. No company is going to step in and be like, we're going to put a copyright claim. Don't play our ad that we want to be played everywhere,
Yeah, we are kind of unearthing some things some companies like to forget, especially a lot of the Chris Cogsworth videos we've shown. He's like, the taco thing isn't really appropriate.
I love 15-year-old girls. Like,
no,
it's not okay.
I'm hoping by next week.
By the way, censors, that was a quote. I don't actually love 15-year-old girls.
That's you're quoting. This is what do they do when you type in the internet? This is for a report,
huh?
When you look up something on the internet, but you don't want to get the government to find you, you put this is for a report. If you're just curiously looking up something,
What are you Googling for?
I'm just saying that's the thing.
What's your search history, Mike? I feel like you're there's a little confession time we have to make in here.
Well, no, bowling alleys, action figures, and strip clubs. No, and I don't know. And where
clubs,
to
New Jersey, no cover. Okay, got it. For research.
Cover?
Yeah.
They're doing no cover now? Nobody told me.
Yeah, there's no cover, but the fucking drinks are like $20 each.
Yeah, it's like every
I'll never forget. I bought a seltzer water at a strip club in Midtown once. It was $10 for a seltzer water.
Yeah, they're a little overpriced.
That's the most ripped off I've ever felt buying anything in my life. Was specifically that was $10 seltzer water at a titty bar.
Yeah, I got a girl's number once in New York at one of those establishments.
Really?
She gave me a number. I was like, all right. I was like, am I really going to meet you?
You got to be careful in New York because a lot of them are looking for They're looking
looking to
for
kidnap you.
paperwork to stay in the country, if you know what I mean.
She was American, but it was still like this was way too easy. Like something said, like you always fantasize, like I wish that would happen, and it happens. Like wait a minute, it's
In your head, yeah, it happens. You're like,
this
you
is
know
New
what?
York. Somebody's gonna kidnap me. It's not gonna work. I never did. I unfortunately or unfortunately, I never did anything about it. I was telling somebody like, don't go. And I was like, all right, so I don't want to die. So.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you can get her to come to like a place you're familiar with, then you're good. But if she's like, oh yeah, meet me in a back alley in Newark, like
yeah,
you know, it's obviously you just gotta have common sense when it comes to.
Yeah, it's
All
New
right.
York is scary.
We don't.
Anyway, I don't know why we talked
That
about
was the show.
That was how we did the show.
Bars. All right.
All right. Hopefully my voice is back next week. That'd be nice.
No, you sound fine. All right. Well, the Giants suck. The Jets suck. And all right. Talk to you later, man. Peace.
Peace.